invite Mr. Charles Aldous to continue the case for the proposition.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Congratulations on a good term so far. Chaucer, drops. Churchill, let's forget about him. Communism implemented. If like our secretary Ollie, you read the Daily Mail, you will like this description of decolonisation. But, well, I should actually say some see it as woke tosh and a waste of money, which is only worthy of the people in Durham House. For those who don't know Durham House, the Students' Union. However, I believe this is a fundamental mischaracterisation of decolonisation. So let's start with a big question. What do Dan Lonsdale and I have in common? Well, we're both presidents. I'm a president-elect of the best student debating society in the United Kingdom. He is the president of the most unpopular students' union in England. We have some differences, however. He has a big beard like Lenin, whereas I struggle to grow a tail. For members of the House, the answer is that both Dan and I support decolonising the curriculum for various reasons. In the next 7 minutes, I am going to convince this House that decolonisation is about more, that it's just about more than decolonising in the sense of the term, but it's about adding different perspectives to history rather than erasing them. There's nothing to worry about. I may not agree with Comrade Dan on many things, but on decolonisation we stand together. With case studies ranging from Egypt to Norfolk, I will show you that if we take decolonisation and expand itself, going beyond Western colonialism, we can incorporate the views of ordinary people and, as my honourable comrade said, examine new source material. So firstly, decolonisation actually has grounds in history, meaning that it's not actually that radical. Let's look at the Victorian historian Lord McIlroy, who wrote in the 1840s, that even before, that was even before you were born, Jay. History's purpose is to expand evidence. It is the formation of the mind, the eager appetite for knowledge. Nothing radical with that. And I believe that decolonisation is actually the process of this appetite for knowledge. We're not upending past historiography, but merely expanding upon it. So now let us look at some case studies that prove why an expanded understanding of history is beneficial, is actually needed. As a young farmer, I struggled to get my maths GCSE, but I was more shocked than passing, eventually, that in schools throughout England, children are still not taught about the history of farming. While Turnip Townsend's crop rotation was important in the 17th century, we should learn more about where farming began. My farm, as Henry will know, is a rather leaky grain storage. But do you know that domesticated grain was found in 5,200 BC in Egypt, storage pits? Do you know that ancient Egyptians were the first people to grow arable crops on fertile delta of the Nile? This history is hardly taught in British schools, but I believe that it is a mistake, because we are not, as Macaulay said and wrote about, expanding our knowledge. So what does decolonisation then look like in relation to farming? Well, I thought about this earlier, and actually I came up with an answer, and I proposed to the House that we had Caleb Cooper and Jeremy Clarkson set the national farming curriculum, decolonising and exploring uncontested and untouched aspects of history. Now at this point, you probably think that I'm mad, that the pre-event dinner wine is a bit too good.
Only one glass.
Only one. Yeah, actually, I'm a bit of a lightweight. But now let's turn to Norwich. Most people know this city as the home of Ed Balls, Alan Partridge, and one of England's best football clubs, Norwich City. Though very few students have talked about its rich culture and impact on the early modern economy. Letters and records from the period the early modern period showed that 30% of people in Norwich spoke Dutch and French during the 1870s. The strangers, the Dutch and French people who came to Norwich in 1565, revitalised Norwich's wool trading economy, cementing Norwich as England's second city. Profits taken from this economy were donated to constructing churches, and there is evidence to say that Norwich wool trading went into the foundation of banks such as Barclays and insurance conglomerates such as Aviva. Even Norwich's mascot, the canary, is named after the bird that the strangers introduced to Norwich. Members of the House, why is studying Norwich an example of decolonising and crucially expanding the curriculum? Well, much like farming, even students in my local primary school, Charles Darwin on Rose Lane, have never heard of this rich culture and history. So through studying Norwich's history, we can maybe, just maybe, disprove the notion that all Norwich folk have 6 fingers and our mums also are angels. China. Seems a big jump, but when I speak of this country, most people in Britain think of it as the home of apple factories, noodles, Jerry, and Target and Trump's trade. Again, this is where our curriculum really does miss the point, and it should be developed to acknowledge an underappreciated, highly valuable country. From the 13 Chinese dynasties to the Opium Wars and the Communist Revolution, there is a litany of source material that's hardly touched upon in British schools. I am actually a living testament to this point, because the first exposure I got to a Chinese history was in the first year at 5 p.m. on a cold, dark Friday afternoon in Elbert Riverside. Frankly, that's not good enough. And here, fellow members, we can do better. And that is why we need to decolonise the curriculum and actually look more at countries like China. So instead of being president, and as a citizen of Shanghai, I propose that Jerry Mead is best placed to lead this charge. And that's why he should be made Education Secretary. So to conclude, I've given you 3 examples of where we can expand our understanding as part of decolonisation and look at traditionally overlooked source material. This is fundamentally not a radical left-wing agenda, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's not about cancelling Chaucer and removing Churchill. The proposition, us, although we're on the opposition side, should not be in the Sun or Mail front page tomorrow morning. Instead, we are moderate, and we are here today to show you that actually this is a moderate, well-balanced academic ideology. And so therefore I implore you all, fellow members, to back the proposition. Thank you.